Bullying. I was bullied as a child, as a young girl, as a young teenager. It was at home, school. At home it was with my brother, my older brother, my only brother. He always thought that my parents loved me more than they loved him. So he made me pay the price for it. For about 15 to 17 years, I paid the price for it emotionally and physically. Until today, I still have the scars to remind me what he did to me. At school, you know, it was with the kids, of course, they call me all sorts of names, you know. I was one of the tallest, you know, and I've always had wide shoulders, broad shoulders, so they would call me Magnum, they would call me Robocop. And, you know, my father is from Cameroon, my mom is from, you know, from France, so every time they would ask me, well, did you grow up in trees? Do you have houses in Africa? Do you guys, because I wear glasses, do you guys wear glasses in Africa? They were making fun of my, you know, my physical features and all that. So it was hurtful. And it really, really affected me to the core, you know. I always try to find my place within the society. I've always tried to be accepted amongst kids, amongst, you know, my classmates. But they always made me feel like, well, I didn't have my place there, and made me always, you know, feel bad about myself and rejected me and never wanted to play with me. So I always ended up being by myself in a corner somewhere and just watching them play, you know, and I only had that fantasy in my head that some days, well, they would finally accept me and would want to play with me and make friends with me, you know, and be friends with me. You know, even in the classrooms, you know, I had that particular teacher who always put me on the spot and always tried to embarrass me in front of my classmates. It was tough because I was wondering why I was even alive. Like, I was wondering why it was happening to me. I had low self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself. I hated myself. I hated myself. I couldn't stand looking at myself in a mirror. It was a reflection of something that was so evil. To me, looking at myself in the mirror was like torture. All I saw was disgusting. It was ugly. It was awful, you know. And pictures, let's not even talk about it. There were no way in hell I would take pictures for anybody, with anybody. Nope, not happening. I hated it with passion. Like, don't try to take pictures of me. You know, I had the thoughts about, you know, killing myself and ending my life. To me, it was like, you know what? If I do that, maybe people would be happier without me, you know. I would feel relieved. I would feel finally at peace. All I wanted was peace. All I wanted as a young kid was just to have fun and be happy and have friends. But that was not the case. Waking up was hell. Going to school was hell. Being home was a nightmare. I didn't feel safe in my own home. I did not feel safe in my own home. I was scared to go home. You understand what I mean? I was scared to go home. If my parents were not there, I didn't want to go home. I would rather just like wander around and like just until my parents would go home, because every time I was by myself with my brother, something would happen. I tried my hardest to never find myself in the same room with him, because he would always do something or say something to get a reaction out of me, and it always worked, and we would always end up fighting. You know, you have a big brother, I'm little, and who do you think is gonna win? It was torture. And you would think that your big brother would protect you, would have your best interests at heart, would defend you, would console you when you sad. Not this brother. It made me feel worthless, ugly, gross. Every day reminded me that, you know, I was ugly. Every day reminded me that I didn't have my place here. Every day reminded me that I would never find anybody to appreciate me or to love me and to respect me or anything like that. Every day make sure of that, you know. And you're gonna ask me, what about your parents? Well, you know, I love my parents to death. I love my parents to death. There is nothing that I would not do for them. They gave me everything that I wanted, everything that I needed. They provided for me. They catered to my need. They catered to my needs. But emotionally, they were not there for me. It was like, oh, don't worry, they're just being kids. You know, they will get over it. That's okay. You're going to be fine. I'm not even going to mention my brother, how, you know, they would try to help me to cope with the situation. But I didn't feel like they were listening to me. I felt like I was behind a window, screaming and yelling for help, and on the other side, people were just looking at me. They would see me, but they would just kept on walking. That's how it felt like, not being heard. You know, I didn't feel like I had my place in this world. I didn't feel like I belonged here. I felt like God had created a monster in me. I felt like God wanted to punish me. You know, several times I thought about ending my life. I felt like everything would be better without me. I would definitely be happier, that nobody would miss me at all. You know, I struggled finding myself, finding my own identity, finding my purpose in this life. It was hell. I did not have that support. I did not have that person to turn to talk to confine into, that person who would listen to me and not judge me, just listen to me. I didn't have that. I did not have that support. You know, the last time my brother put his hands on me, I was 19 years old. I will never forget that. He punched me in my eye. I had glasses on, blood all over the floor, everywhere. Everywhere. For 3 months, I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't go to school because I had excruciating pain. excruciating headaches, non-stop, 24 hours around the clock. Of course, again, people were making fun of me, asking me like, been fighting with your boyfriend, are you a boxer? Because, you know, I've always been athletic, I've always looked athletic. So, you know, I was afraid to go out. I was afraid to even go grocery shopping. Afraid of being judged and being criticized and, you know, all that. Lucky for my brother, my dad was not there. He was actually out of the country. He was lucky. He was lucky. That was my breaking point. I promised to myself that he would never put his hands on me. You know. That was the breaking point. My message to those kids going through bullying at school, home, wherever it is, guys, you gotta find someone to talk to, someone you trust enough to confide in, someone you know is going to listen to you, is going to support you and be there for you, especially emotionally. You don't want to keep all that resentment, all the insecurities inside. That's not good. That's going to eat you alive and that's going to destroy you. You don't want that to happen. So please find someone you know you can trust. Get some help. Don't stay silent. And the parents out there is a quote that I like and I think is very powerful. It is a responsibility as a parent to listen to your child, because if you don't listen to your child, you are teaching her or him how to not to trust their own thoughts. And that's exactly what happened to me the majority of my life. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't trust myself. I had insecurities, low self-esteem. I didn't think I was worthy of anything, nothing, nada. It's hard. It's hard, you know. It's not easy. Don't take this situation lightly. If you have a child who comes to you and even if it doesn't matter how small it is, you gotta listen, because for you it's irrelevant, it's nothing, but to them it's extremely important. And they need you to listen and be there for them, to support them emotionally especially. You know, I've been through all that, you know. He made me a certain way. You know, I'm not saying that right now I'm perfect. There's always room for improvement. Something I'm still working on. I'm a loner. You know, dealing with all those things back in my childhood, you know, I've always been alone. I've always been by myself. So until today, you know, it has affected me to the point where I have no problem being by myself. I have no problem being alone. I have no problem at all whatsoever. And I'm okay with that. You know, some people are wondering why I'm always by myself. That's how I grew up. That's how I grew up. That's how I survived, by staying away from people. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, I did a lot of soul searching and a lot of meditations, a lot of praying, you know. Until today, I'm a work in progress. But please, if you have the opportunity to know somebody who can help you, turn to that person. I didn't have that. I did not have that. You know, trust and believe.
Competitor number 28, Kannel Landau.